It's Bill and Dave, and we're back. And what we're going to do in this video is we're going to talk a little bit about the legends, the traditions, the things that you do, and then future years will hear about this thing that you do, and they want to be a part of it. One thing that I started to do with one particular school is take them to see professional tennis. And so this became an annual thing. It was early in the season. We had a professional tournament, 45 minutes from us. And the first time it was very weird, and nobody was sure if they could do it. And then after that, then it just became this thing. Hey, Coach, are we going to go do that again? Hey, that's great. And then they would talk about it, and it became a selling point of the program. And then another thing that I started doing with most all of my teams is on the morning of the league championships, especially the singles and doubles individual championships, we would go to breakfast. That killed two birds with one stone. I can manage what they're eating in the morning.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hey, everybody, you got a lot of tennis to play today. I want you to eat a lot. So we get up 6 a.m. when the breakfast place opens, and they eat 4,000 calories or maybe, I don't know. They're ready to play at 10 o'clock with all the energy that they need to succeed. And that is such a great time. And so they really look forward to that team breakfast. And the ones who are aspiring to, be on the varsity and play in that, they know this is a big perk that they get to be part of the team breakfast. And that's another thing too, where we will invite along other kids if they can get out of school for the day, or they're wanting to be out of school for the day to come support the team. They get to come to the breakfast, and they get to watch tennis all day. And that feeds another thing where they're preparing their minds for future success. Because, next year I'm going to be there playing in that thing, and I want to know what it looks like.
I give out a survey to my kids after season's over, after the banquet. And one of the things I always ask is, what are some of the highlights you remember? Because that is truly, like you said, the meals were number one. The kids remembered the yummy food, the fun times at the old spaghetti factory, or the different places we made a tradition. This is a picture of us and like you just said, I always brought my top 20 girls to state and region. I spent the extra money to get an extra 2 hotel rooms so we could have 4 to 6 more kids in each room, in addition to my top 7, which played varsity at state and at the Invitational. So one of the things that was created that is all those girls you see behind me here are all JV girls in the back, and they're all part of this. And unfortunately, when I retired, the new coach didn't see a value in that, only took the top 7, no camaraderie, no team element. The returning girls were so disappointed. And the top varsity girls said it was so sad because we didn't have the JV with us. So don't forget that a tradition can be as simple as going to breakfast, going to dinner, going out for many things. Some of the other things that we do that are kind of unique, and I want to touch on these as quickly as I can because they're kind of cool. For region and state, we get water-based paints, and we put our logo on the names of each player. We also put on the back of their legs. See if I can find this picture. It's really cool because the girls put their partner's name if they're a doubles team, and they put their singles partner or their single teammates on it. And it is right, where are you? You'll have to cut this. Okay, there it is. So on the back of their legs, you can see their names. On their shoulders, they put the school logo. So that's a cool little factor that we.
Let me interject there for a second.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because in our section, that's not legal because, because of scorched earth policies where a couple of teams did wrong, and they did things that were inappropriate with them. So
well, make sure check your region.
Check your region's rules. You don't want to get dinged for it. But yeah, I think that's really sad that everyone has to be punished because one or a few did poorly.
Well, here's a couple other quick things.
Yeah.
One is we've created our own logo, our Thunder logo. Our team name was the Desert Thunder, and the T is the very you can see the T on the rackets. We make our own stencils for our rackets. We have several fun things that we do. We always go out and hit out in a parking lot somewhere. And so this is on our way to a parking lot. Another meal that we talked about earlier. We have this is unique, but we had a grandparent who knitted dolls of each girl, their hair color, down to their shoe color, down to their eye color. And this was, you can see mine in the back there. But, just look for things that you can do year in. We also every year we do a top 7 varsity team picture in different settings that are memorable. As you've seen this one, just stuff like this goes
awesome. Okay, I got one more.
Yep.
I got one more.
Go for
and
it.
This was kind of something we did on and off if the kids were into it, but they would take a ball from the season and they would write on the ball. So they put their name on it and they would write a couple of messages on the ball that was their keepsake from things that they remembered from the season. And then one team actually did that, and then they gave them all to me, and really? I still have them. So, we had some really funny things. And then also another funny thing that we do is we will write on the balls, and so we're practicing, and all of a sudden the ball that says "die" on it is there, or another ball says "smell this." So, and then we might even make special rules with games. If you hit a ball that has a word on it, then it's worth double points or whatever. Nice. So there's a lot of fun ways to do that. And, the stuff that my kids write on the balls are usually, dark humor, but I think that reflects a little bit on my personality as well. So,
well, and talking about the tennis ball, this idea was given to me really recently over the last 2 or 3 years that I really like. At the end of the match, if it's a varsity match, whoever gave up the least number of games, we took a good game ball and had everyone on the varsity sign it and gave it to that player, which was a neat motivational tool. And they looked forward to that in the match. And when I would add up the games, so that's another one, the team circle. We've talked about that in the past.
Okay, wait, before you go on from that, I got another one for you. So we had a thing where the first player off the court having won a set 6-0 gets an overgrip.
There you go.
Right. And so, but a very specific rule, no one must talk about it. If you talk about it or the other team somehow gets wind of this, then you are disqualified, because it's not something to rub it in the opponent's face.
Right.
But it is motivating for my players, because it's like, okay, we can beat this team easily, so let's do it. Let's not waste time. Let's be very efficient with the win. So, but now the funny thing is if you're the first one off the court and you've won a set 6-0, but somebody else comes off later and has won 6-0, 6-0, then they get the grip.
Right.
So, we've had situations where matches ended close enough together that both players run to the gate to come get to me. So, and it also that, and it also teaches them, I think, to concentrate and learn how not to rush, because if you lose points because you lost your concentration because you were trying to win an overgrip, then it's going to take longer. So you have to keep your mind in it, and it's a great teaching moment. And man, kids have never been so proud of having an overgrip on their racket.
Well, and hopefully they keep, they look forward to that, and it builds more of that. A couple last minute things here I'll talk about is seniors. I always talk about, our final match, home match. We always have a senior presentation. We get dog tags that have their name on it, the school name. And so one of the things that you can do is make sure you recognize, we give them flowers. As you can see here, we give them the dog tags. It's very emotional. And because we do this right before the match, probably maybe not the best time to do it, but it really is meaningful to the kids, and especially the seniors who you've had for 2, 3, 4 years. So little things like that are obviously very nice to take advantage of. And the last thing I'll say is make sure when you're going to travel, get some paint for your car. And this is something the kids do, and they'll write things like the Magnificent Seven, Desert Hills tennis player with an arrow here pointing to the window. They have all their names on the back window or the side. Just fun stuff that they find very fulfilling and fun. And it's another tradition that really goes a long way.
Awesome.
Okay.